First of all, I want to dispel the most widely circulated information that was passed over within Kenya and outside Kenya, that there will be an earthquake in yesterday's meeting. I don't know if there is any Kenyan who saw an earthquake, because the faces we saw are very well known faces. The speech that was delivered was a speech meant for that particular occasion and to please those who are in Musalia Mudavadi's NDC. So there was no earthquake because some of us, we had received information that even the NDC funding had been well organized by the guest of honor, whom so many eyes of Kenyans and outside Kenyans was not an earthquake. The question remains, can William Samoei Ruto be an earthquake? Can William Samoei Ruto be an earthquake? So, having said that, I can go ahead and say, yesterday Kenyans saw the biblical Samson assertions, which says clearly to me and indeed to many Kenyans that Wycliffe Musalia Mudavadi suffers from Samson's complex. This is where, like Samson in the Bible, one becomes so bitter about their inability not to change circumstances around them, and thus result in self-destruction, self-hate, self-inability, and self-immobilization. As the Secretary General of the Central Organization of Trade Unions in Kenya, which equally sponsored me to be #1 in the large East African Trade Union Federation, the organization that equally made me to be elected as a spokesperson for the Organization of the African Trade Union Unity, Pan-Africa, working closely with the African Union, a position I don't think, even if Mudavadi did visit Aluya Muganga, would be able to achieve that particular position. And our organization is respected globally. And I would like to strongly warn Kenyans at this particular juncture that, like Samson in the Bible, Mudavadi is in the business of bringing down his small house to cause total destruction to both his supporters and opponents. This explains why he was dragging my name and that of the Central Organization of Trade Unions Kenya in his speech that was not written by him. For anybody who has been listening to what William Samoei Ruto has been talking about me, about Raila Amolo Odinga, about President Uhuru Kenyatta, that is the exactly person who crafted Musalia's speech. That was not him. He has over the years displayed himself as a humble person who doesn't want to attack others. So that was an important language into his own mouth, and properly orchestrated by our arch enemies, the speech that Kenyans were treated to yesterday. Mudavadi, who I strongly believe suffers from the Peter Pan syndrome in his political career, is used to breathing the political oxygen of strong men around him. And that is why he has been unable to grow his own lungs and thorax. Because if you are used to breathing some borrowed air, like the air here, I breathe very well-known air, like ozone air. And then when you are on your own, or you are on high altitude, then you cannot be able to grow your lungs and be a person who is healthy. This has made him not to, this has made Mudavadi not to breathe independently of strong men. In other words, this has made him not to be himself, or in a language understandable to the environment, says that Mudavadi cannot drive alone without being driven by other people or close friends. Or in other words, that Mudavadi cannot be an independent political seeker. He cannot seek for a position as Wycliffe Musalia Mudavadi. For instance, in the 90s, Mudavadi survived from the political oxygen of the late President Moi. For those who knows Mudavadi, Mudavadi has been just like Moi's kid since his father passed on, when he was firstly made a minister and so on, and nursed very well up to the year 2002 when Kibaki was coming in. He lost even his parliamentary that year, his parliamentary seat, after having made the same mistake, such as the one he made yesterday. He lost it. I personally went to his office, he was the Minister for Transport, and told him, Musalia, your friend Raila Amolo Odinga has proposed you to become a president. And NAC people, including President Kibaki, are supporting you. Don't make any mistake of going to be a vice president or to be appointed, as I've heard. You will be a vice president for 2 to 3 months, and that will be the end of you. Indeed, he didn't listen to me. He lost that opportunity. I would remember vividly, I had bought a new Nokia telephone. I broke when I saw it on the newspaper that Musalia has been appointed as vice president instead of becoming the second. That if he became president, he can have some authorities and powers of changing leadership of labor movement in this country. Who will allow him? Musalia he should go and read how we operate, both employers associations and employers organizations, trade unions and governments. We are social partners anchored under the International Labour Organization various conventions. You cannot wake up from the wrong bed of your, from the wrong side of your bed, and you say, since I'm a president, I want to remove leadership and change leadership of court. We have structures, we have our constitutions. Our constitutions are agreements between ourselves and ourselves. We are not led under a code of conduct of government or any code from any ministry. So he's a daydreamer, and he requires a lot of lecturing. Considering Kotu Kenya, our influence and what we have, you cannot compare to the influence his party ANC has. We in Kenya, we are between 4 and 5 million members. His ANC party has not even 100 members. Those people you see are NDC, and I want to thank them, because when they heard Mudavadi attacking me, and immediately when Samuel Ruto entered his NDC, most of them threw away those capes of NDC from their hearts, and they were illusioned and they were unhappy. And I'm happy some went home without picking the 5,000 allowance he had earmarked to give them, because they knew that was not his money. I want to salute them. I want to salute those delegates who refused to take 5,000 shillings that had been donated and brought to them by William Samoei Ruto through ANC Musalia Mudavadi's kiosk. He talks about cluelessness. To me, Musalia is so weak and clueless. And if you ask me who is clueless, it's Mudavadi. That even if I were to make him the Kotu Kenya Secretary General, it won't take 24 hours before he's removed. He talks about trust. He talks about trust. He talks of politics of betrayal, politics of deceit. He talks of betrayal and deceit. But Kenyans were treated to an Oscar-winning show yesterday when Mudavadi invited Ruto to his NDC without the knowledge of his Oka friends. Gideon was not aware. Kalonzo Musyoka was not aware. Only Salat I had alerted that William Samoei Ruto will be attending. Salat, the Secretary General of KANU, did not attend. So who should be trusted? Is it Raila Amolo Odinga? Is it Uhuru Kenyatta? Or Musalia Mudavadi? Or Francis Atwoli'S? Because if you have your colleagues and you have invited somebody they are not comfortable, you want them in advance. You tell them, please, gentlemen, we have been moving together. He fails to go and attend the Naivasha meeting secretly. That day he goes to Karen. He drinks up to 2 a.m. in William Samoei's house. He doesn't pick a telephone and tell Kalonzo Musyoka, don't come to my NDC. He doesn't pick a call and call Gideon Moi and tell him, don't come to my NDC. Who can be trusted? Tell me. I'm surprised. And when you hear him, yesterday for those who listened to him, rolling out a program of their campaign, you ask yourselves, will the two, and I said it about a month ago, I was here in Mombasa when I said, the two lawyers, watabaki kwa mataa. That is Wetangula Moses and Wycliffe Musalia Mudavadi. Where are they now on the picture? If they will be attending Ruto's UDA meetings, whom will be they campaigning for? Ask yourself, this is a simple question. You don't need to read any political science and see how stupid these two gentlemen are. And I don't think I've been checking closely. These are not lawyers. Lawyers don't behave like that. These people might have been imported from somewhere else. Check. And I want people to check, to carry out due diligence on these two people. I can't imagine. We are the second largest community in the Republic of Kenya. We need an uncompromising leader. Lawyers need an uncompromising leader. A year ago I said, these two parties must be collapsed. If they are serious, ANC and Ford Kenya, come up with one party for the Western Kenya people. And if you don't, what will they be implying? I said that two political parties, that is ANC and Ford Kenya, these are political commercial kiosks for the two guys. I don't know whether you people have heard. When it started circulating that William Samoei Ruto, there was a rumor, gave Musalia 300 million to put up his current home. I said no. Musalia had an insurance farm. Somebody told me, no, that farm collapsed. As he asked me, what is Musalia doing? He doesn't have any business apart from the two kiosks, the political parties they have, Fort Kenya and ANC. Yesterday, it was evident that his current home was put up by William Samoei Ruto. His NDC, William Samoei Ruto, contributed 27 million Kenya shillings. That's why I'm asking, where are lawyers going to tap a credible and compromising leader in the two? And I want to tell Kenyans here and now that anybody who will be associated as an elder from Western, anybody who will be associated with either Wetangula or Musalia Mudavadi in Western, that person will suffer a serious defeat if he would be a candidate. Because Musalia and Moses Wetangula with William Samoei Ruto in Western Kenya will be considered as a person who has contracted a disease known in West Africa as Ebola. You will be acquiring a political Ebola from Musalia or from Wetangula. And you know Ebola has no medicine. So those are some of the few words I wanted to say. And I want to assure Kenyans that Wycliffe Musalia Mudavadi's speech has no effect on Kenya's labor movement. He has no history. Musalia Mudavadi's speech, when I assisted him to ascend to the Luhya spokesperson, I was a good boy, court was a firebrand. Yesterday, because I'm not supporting him, and I cannot repeat, because as weak as he is, we will lose considerably. And in his hands, I heard people saying he has pairs of hands. You don't need to have pairs of hands. If there are pairs of hands, then he has 4 hands. I have asked a question time and again. In whose hands are we safe? In whose hands are we safe? Are we safe in William Samoei's Wycliffe Musalia Mudavadi's and Moses Masiga Wetangula's hands? Are Luhya safe? Are Kenyans safe? The answer, even if you go to west, east, and north, the answer is no. We are not safe in the hands of those unscrupulous political conmen in our Republic of Kenya. Kenyans are safe currently. Kenyans, the entire Republic of Kenya is safe in Raila Amolo Odinga's hands. And therefore, the entire Western Kenya is Azimio.